Okay, hi everybody. So today I'm going to show you another landscape that I've done, and these are river rocks which I have used to stick together and kind of form a landscape kind of scenario over here. So what I did mainly was the first thing is I cut the pot over here. Can you see from here to here? I cut the pot so that the visibility will be more, and I just wanted it to be a little more different. So that's the reason why I cut it off. So yesterday evening, suddenly I got this idea of why don't I cut the pot over there? So when I was cutting off the pot, what happened was actually some of the rocks. There was a lot of vibration when I was doing the cutting, so some of the rocks actually got, they became very loose. So I just fastened them with wire because I didn't want to stop the demonstration. But I will put back. I mean, after the demonstration, and I will set it, so it won't be a problem for me. So before we begin, I just want to Before we begin, I just want to show you a 360 degree of exactly how it is. So there you go. So you can see there is a lot of space over here for me to put plants over there. And I am going to use these Premnas over here, which are over here. I'm going to use these in this landscape. So it's going to be very interesting. So this is the back. That's the back. Okay. So there you go. Okay. So like I always said, whenever you're doing a landscape, try to make it look as creative as possible. It's very easy to do a landscape. You don't need to really, think too much about it. But try to just bring in some harmony into whatever you are doing. So these are rocks. Whatever rocks I had, I just used them. Like I didn't bother whether they were different rocks or the same rocks or what it was. I just wanted to do something. And when I did it, I was really happy with it. So I thought, no problem. So just follow your heart. Just do whatever you feel like. Do not think like what people are going to think about it or whether you're going to do something wrong about it. You just have to put your mind into reality, your thoughts into reality. That is what is important in bonsai. Nowadays, it is not books, it is not rules, it is not, going by principles. It is more like just do what your mind says. Be as creative as possible. Make it as interesting as possible. Make it look as aesthetic as possible. That is exactly like how you have to actually go about in doing these kind of work. So I've put on the drainage holes everywhere. I've put mesh over there so that there won't be any kind of clogging of those holes. Those holes will be covered anyway, so you won't be able to visualize them once the whole composition is ready. So I have got some Premnas over here. Premna, I always love Premnas, so that is why I love doing Premna mainly because Premnas are the leaf is very tiny and they go very proportionately. They go very proportionately with your composition, especially when you're doing group kind of compositions. Try to use tiny leaves. Tiny leaves give a lot of aesthetic value to what you are doing. It gives more proportion to what you are doing. So let's begin about how exactly we're going to go forward. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I have created a lot of depth from the front to show a lot of depth. Depth in the sense you can see caves. Can you see these caves? Those caves, what happens is they give a lot of depth to your composition. So if you see, I've got one over here, one over here I've got one over here, I've got one over here, and I've got one over here. So the more the depth you show in your composition, the more beautiful it always looks. So that is why I always try to create a lot of depth in your compositions when you are doing. So that is the reason why I've taken that as a front, and I put the taller rocks at the back so that they do not hide the trees. So the taller rocks are at the back, the shorter rocks are in front. All the rocks are trying to flow in the same direction, trying to show some kind of a scenery, some kind of a landscape, depicting some kind of a landscape. I'm not 100% happy with this rock, but then since it's stuck, I thought let me just leave it. Actually, I thought I should have put something else over here, but it's okay. I'm just going to leave it for now. But once it falls off, maybe I'll go for a little kind of a smaller rock over there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pack up all these holes over here, because when I'm going to put soil over here, inside over here, when I'm going to put soil inside over here, what happens is I shouldn't allow the soil to erode out of these holes. So the best way, like I told you in the previous video, when I did a landscape, remember this is just the second time I'm doing a landscape. I've never ever done these before. but I'm just trying my best to make it simple and easy for all of you. So I may make a few mistakes or something like that, but then just don't bother about it. I'll just try to be as professional as possible, so that, and I'll try to make it as creative as possible for you. So, not to allow that soil to erode out of those holes whenever you are watering your plants, what you have to do is you have to clog them up with a lot of sphagnum moss. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lot of sphagnum moss in between all the crevices over there, so that I'm going to put a lot of sphagnum moss over there, so that what happens, that soil doesn't get eroded. Now in the beginning over there, for the cave, I'm going to put an extra rock inside there, so that it shows some kind of depth over there. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to just put some sphagnum moss, on all the holes. This sphagnum moss is not going to be visible once the composition is over, so you don't have to be worried about it. And remember, whenever you put sphagnum moss, like I told you in the previous video, it helps in holding moisture for your plant, because the soil is very less, so we need to have a little bit of moisture holding, so that your your plants don't, die owing to lack of water. Okay, so I'm just going to stuff in some sphagnum moss everywhere, wherever I feel that there is going to be soil coming out of wherever I feel there is going to be soil coming out, I'm just going to put some sphagnum moss. So I'm just going to be a little gentle with the thing, because the rocks are become a bit loose. So I'll just be a bit gentle, so that I don't displace and I don't make the rocks fall off. And guys, I'll be more frequent over here on the YouTube. My Facebook is hacked, so I just need to get that Facebook back. I know it will take a while, but I'm not in a hurry. Let it just take its time. Meanwhile, there are always ways where we can catch one another and we can learn from one another. So if you're interested, you can just press the subscribe button over there on my channel. And what happens is, whenever I do a video, even though you are not there online, what happens is you get a notification that Veer has done a new video, and maybe whenever you are free, you can watch the video. So kindly press that. If you're interested to learn more, kindly just press that subscribe button. So yeah, I'm done with the sphagnum moss. So can you see? I've carpeted the whole area inside with sphagnum moss. As I go higher, and when I find that there are gaps on the higher side, there are gaps. So as I'm putting soil, I'll put in more sphagnum moss there, or I can shove some sphagnum moss now. Look over there. I can see a hole over here. See a hole over there. Okay, done. Now I'm going to first put my plants in it. So, and there is if you look at it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plants. I'm going to try and fit all the 5 plants into the composition, so that it looks more kind of finished, more heavy, and looks perfect, like a ready-made kind of this one. So I'm going to try and fit in everything. These three, if you look here, these three, these were actually cuttings. I mean, I had popped in a lot of cuttings inside this bag over here. And what happened? And what happened was when I some of the cuttings had died. And then again, I became like I was traveling so much. I became lazy, and these started growing and they became very thick. So I was so lazy. So I said, why do I have to separate them? Why don't I style them there itself? So I started styling them over there itself in that container without disturbing them or separating them. So now I'm going to separate them so that I can put them at different positions rather than putting them at the same positions. Like I always tell you, white roots are healthy roots, and also fibrous roots. Can you see a lot of tiny? Can you see a lot of tiny roots over there, like fiber? They are called feeder roots. What happens is the more the feeder roots on your plants, what happens? The more healthy your plants are, and the more nutrition your plants can take. So it's always good to create a lot of fibrous roots. How do feeder roots? They are also called fibrous roots. They are also called feeder roots. But how exactly you create these fibrous roots is you have to use a lot of granular particles in your soil. When you use a lot of granular particles in your soil, what happens is a lot of fibrous roots form. What exactly is granular particles? You can use brickstones, you can use leaker, you can use little small pieces of marble chips. But make sure they are the size of a peanut and not very big, because at the end of it, it is because in bonsai you have a very less space. So what happens? You cannot, if you use big chunks of stone, they will occupy a lot of space in your composition, in your bonsai space. So that is why don't. So I am first separating them. So I'm going to put it like this so that you may see how I'm. Just cutting it like a birthday cake. Just think that today is my birthday, guys. So there one, okay? On the other side, and remember, whenever you're doing these kind of works, make sure your soil is totally dry. Don't use them on wet soil, because when you use them on wet soil, what happens? The soil disintegrates when you're cutting these plants like this way. So do not allow the soil to disintegrate. So much of pruning, there's nothing to be worried about. As long as you keep some of the mother soil, it's not going to create any problem at all. So I'm going to put the first tree over here. It's going to be here. So that is the perfect height, I feel. I have to come a little this way. Okay. So that's your first tree there. Now I'm going to put my second one, which is going to be another. Again, you can see a lot of feeder roots. It only shows that my plants are healthy. For this plant, I have to remove a lot because it has to go into the corner there. So it won't fit if I don't remove a lot. And in bonsai, always remember, first thing you have to learn in bonsai is how to grow your plants, how to tackle with your plants. You should be more like a plant doctor. If you are like that plant doctor, what happens? Automatically, you know how to handle, you will know how to handle your plants. So you have to be like a plant doctor. I want to put this. So I have to go a little more. So yeah, I'm going to put it here. Okay. Okay. I will later on remove the side branches because I don't want those branches. Or I can put it a little higher here also. Like that I can put it. Will be a problem at all. Yeah, so a little bit of gap is formed and it looks much better. Let me turn this tree and see if this side looks much better because usually my trees they look good on both sides. So now both are equal of the same height, so I have to reduce this a little. Yeah. Now the next one. I'm doing it a little clear so that it's more visible for you. You don't have to look at my face, so that's the reason why I'm cutting myself off. And as long as you're looking at what I'm doing, I think 3 trees are more than enough. You don't have to use the tiny one. I think that looks. Yes. Now, this is going to come something like that. Okay. And this is going to go at the back. Should I put it to the side? Can it come like that? Yeah. So these 2 trees, I have to fasten it with wire. Only then it's going to settle. So I'm going to put some wire for them. Yes. Now I'm going to put some new soil. Dump some new soil. Be very gentle when you're doing such kind of things. Don't be in a hurry. Okay? And try not to make the soil too high. The reason is Because in mountains, actually, there is a lot of soil, but most of the soil is actually hidden between the rocks. So, what you have to do is you have to continue following that kind of a composition. You have to, like I told you, break rules in bonsai, but you have to keep certain very tiny principles in consideration. If you keep those principles in consideration, what happens? Your composition becomes a little more realistic. So don't try to. So the more realistic you are, what happens is the more beautiful your composition will look. You're jamming in a lot of soil because the trees shouldn't shake till they settle down. So these rocks, I got it from a person called Manoj Bhatti. He stays in Delhi. He's got a wonderful collection of these rocks. So those of you who are interested, you can always contact him. He's on Facebook. His name is Manoj Kumar Bhatti. You can contact him and he will supply you the rocks. I got these rocks from him. And see, this is just the second time that I'm doing this kind of work. I've never ever done it before. So, don't be scared. Always try. Always try. Do not be scared about what you're going to do because at the end of it, you are going, you will learn only through your mistakes. Only once you start doing things will you be able to understand those. Will you be able to really understand? So don't be scared, don't be skeptical. Just think, I'm going to do it and do it. More the soil, the better. So you have to be very slow, very gentle, but just keep pushing soil inside. These are all 3-year-old plants that I've been designing. Okay, I forgot to tell you all that. I've been making them for 3 years. The previous video, the plants which I did, they are about 4 years old. These are a little younger than those. Okay, guys. So I've packed up all the plants. Yeah. I just need a brush so that I can remove all the unnecessary soil. So if you've noticed, this is a different color, this is a different color. So, it adds. Somehow find it beautiful. I don't know if I'm going against nature, but still, I just love the composition, so I'm just doing it. So, don't bother. And of course, I did a pathetic job with the cement, but if you've noticed, I've hidden up all the cement. Now even this little cement that is visible is going to vanish. It's just little tricks that you have to do to uh, it's just little tricks that you have to do to see this rock is a little loose. I have to set it back. It fell off yesterday. I'll fix it up. I'll fix it up later on. Fix the soil filling over there. These two trees are going on shaking, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten it to this rock over here. I mean, till it settles down. After that, I'll remove this wire. they're not shaking. For the time being, I'll just put a rock here to hold this, so I can place the soil, some more soil on it. Let's just kind of start spilling from there. Just cover it up. Just having a look at it, guys. I think this tree can come a little lower. Yeah, that looks much better. So the tree plantation is done, guys. So now what I have to do is I'm going to put some wet sphagnum moss. At the beginning, be a little judicious and use a lot of sphagnum moss, because the more the sphagnum moss you use, what happens is your plants settle down faster. I mean, because it holds moisture, because it will hold moisture, and what will happen whenever you water the plant, the moisture remains for long, and immediately what happens? The roots start developing faster and faster. So always good to use judicially sphagnum moss, because remember, see how much of root prune I have done. So that root prune will is actually a big shock to the tree. So what happens? You have to keep it moist. If see, always in nature, what I feel in nature is there is a proportion between the root system and the leaf on the tree. The more the so whenever you're doing a repotting, why do you think, like you see most of the masters all around abroad everywhere? Why do they actually defoliate the tree? It is because they are going to disturb the ratio by cutting away the roots. So they don't. So to reduce the stress of the tree, they defoliate it and then they remove the roots. But here, what I did, instead of defoliating the tree, I have just yesterday I just pruned it up and made the paths, everything. But what I will do to safeguard my tree, if I do not pour enough of water for these plants, 100% they are going to die. They're going to go into shock. So what I have to do is regularly I have to keep watering the tree on a regular basis. If I don't water the tree on a regular basis and keep it moist till I find new shoots coming out, I have to wait for those new shoots to come out. Till then, I have to be very, very careful, make sure I keep it in the shade, and I have to keep watering it. And once only after I find the new shoots, I have to put it back. I have to put it into regular sunshine. That also not immediately as soon as you see the roots. I mean, see the new shoots. Wait for the new shoots to give you 4 leaves each. When one, two, three, four. So that means such a big shoot. Once it gives you those 4 leaves, that means it has been in the shade and it has recovered decisively. So what happens is then you can shift it into a kind of into regular sunlight, so that you don't have any so that there won't be any shock for the plant. But till then, do not. My serious advice: till then, do not. And for those of you who live in this very hot and dry climates, I recommend you to use that plant starter which is available in Mumbai. Use that for your plants when you do such kind of things, when you do repotting, all these kind of things. Use that, because what is it is it is the root promoter. So what happens is the moment you keep using it, the instructions to use that is already mentioned. The instructions to use that is mentioned on the bottle. So if you use that, what happens is your roots start developing faster and automatically your plants settle down faster. So use that. My personal recommendation is to use that, because I use it at times. For some of my plants, I do use it. But because my climate is not a dry climate, mine is more of a humid climate. Very, very humid, more humid than Mumbai and all the other places. So what happens is, for in a humid place, plants get back to you very quickly. And in fact, the advantage for me is mainly because of my climate. I'm able to do bonsai so fast. I can grow plants so quickly because of that vigorousness that is there in the atmosphere. I don't have to feed my plants also too much. So there, guys, I put the sphagnum moss. Okay. I put the sphagnum moss. Now I just need to do a little bit of cleaning. A little bit of cleaning. Pull out all the junk from underneath there. This is the first time I'm doing it on YouTube, so I really don't know how exactly this live show is working. But I just hope it is working nicely, and I hope all of you are having a wonderful time, and I hope all of you are enjoying yourself. Done that? So that is the composition. Now we are going to do the lower portion. This portion, we are going to think about what are we going to do over there. So my serious thing is okay, guys. So now let's work on the lower portion and see what we can do. So regarding fixing the stones, I forgot to tell you all. Regarding fixing the stones, I have recorded the video while I was doing it. So I will be posting it over there on the YouTube, the video, so that you guys, if you are interested, you can learn how to do it. For those of you who don't know how I stuck the rocks together, I have used two two portions of river sand mixed with one portion of cement. The river sand, you have to sieve it, okay? Remember that. You have to sieve it, only then you have to mix it with one portion of cement. And do not make it watery. You have to make it like a dough. You know, when you make your chapati, how you make your atta, you make it like that way, and then you scuff it in between wherever the rocks are, you scuff it in between. And what happens is they stick nicely. But make sure the points are, both the rocks are having enough of cement to glue it. Once everything is glued, wait for 24 hours, and the whole thing will dry up very nicely. You don't even have to wait for 24 hours. In 12 hours, you get a beautiful. In 12 hours, you get a beautiful actually. I mean, the rocks usually settle down. And then every day, just make sure, like for about 3 to 4 days, make sure you water your plants. I mean, water the cement because you have to water the rocks only then the cement becomes nice and strong. So, but me, like, I like a fool, what I was doing was that most of the time I was fidgeting with my rocks. I said, no, this is not perfect, this is not perfect, this is not perfect. And I feel like fiddling with them too much. So, what happened was that is where the mistake happened for me. But I think y'all can do a much better job than me. Most of you won't fiddle. So now I'm using this moss. Now remember, I'll give you a small trick. If you want this moss to grow for a longer while on your plants, my personal recommendation is do not put it on soil. Do not put it on soil. Instead, put it on sphagnum moss. So if you look behind this, all this over here, if you look behind this, so if you look behind this, what happens is it is all sphagnum moss. It is all sphagnum moss. So you see how it grows? It grows much better. So I removed these from one of my plants so that I can use it for the composition, but I don't have too much. I'm just going to put it in certain areas and just going to put it so that for the time being it looks a little this moss on top of them. I will do a video where you can really grow this moss. I will do a video on this because it's very interesting and it grows very nicely. And you can make your own moss, you know. This moss actually gives more beauty to your composition. This moss gives more beauty. And I like it a lot because of that greenness. The thing is, I don't have big pieces. Later on, I will reduce the soil for that portion over there because actually, right now, it is too tall. The main reason is once these settle down, these plants, then what I will do is I will pull down the soil a little lower. So now I have this powdery form. So all I'm going to do is just sprinkle it here and there, you know, so that they develop. Even if you sprinkle like that, what happens? This moss starts disintegrating. It starts growing on the sphagnum moss. First, it turns black, and then the moss will start developing. Okay, so don't be worried about it. So I'm just finishing the upper portion before we do the lower portion because I don't want any dust to fall later on. So just finish, do it in a line so that what happens, your lower portion doesn't get dirty. So done guys there, whatever we are supposed to do on top of the rocks, we have finished. And now what we are going to do is, I'm going to cover all the lower portion with reverse sand, only reverse sand. So it gives that bleach kind of an effect it will give. It's like, this composition is on an island. I have to put some sphagnum moss on top of the drainage holes so that, the sand doesn't keep, the sand shouldn't keep going off lower. And the reason why I have to keep those holes is because all the excess water, whatever is there on top, will flow down and go through these holes. So, while doing these compositions, you have to use your common sense also. And you have to try and make it look feasible rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it. Don't do it in that way. Just do it for the sake of doing it. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. So, just you also have to put some sphagnum moss. More than sphagnum moss, if you have the fiberglass cloth, use the fiberglass cloth because fiberglass cloth, that's when you're using sand and all that in your compositions, I mean. The reason why I say to use fiberglass cloth is that sand won't get, it won't get eroded. So I'm just pouring the sand. After that, I will set it. Okay. All I have to do is just take my spatula and start. Like I always tell you guys, don't put, don't make things look gaudy. Nature always, nature is always very calm, subtle, beautiful. soothing. It has to be soothing to your mind. So ever, don't ever use don't use very artistic or very gaudy things in your composition. Try to make it look calm, simple, beautiful. And where's my paintbrush? Nowadays, it's making me nervous to do these shows also. Learn. So, it gives you that effect like, it is somewhere like, this is like the sea or this is like an island and you have, and whatever carries on from here is water. So, you're giving that kind of a visual effect over there. Yeah, I'm so happy with what I did. I mean, at least my heart tells me nice. So there, guys, that's as much. And do you want to see how I water it? I think I'll show you that also. So that is it, guys. Before I water it, I'll just give you guys a 360 view of it so that I'll just give you all a 360 view so that you all will be able to have a look at the whole composition. Those of you who want to take a picture for reference, kindly take a picture. I don't have the black cloth. The cloth I have ordered it. It is coming. On next Sunday, I'll be receiving it. I ordered it on Amazon. The whole kit. So from my next videos, I'll be having a black background at the back. So, and if you're more interested, then I told you nature is always subtle. So if you're more interested, forests always have dead wood, So you can put some dead wood over there, show that a tree has fallen down or something like that way. Okay, can you see the dead wood there? So I have put, and then you can put a small artifact, either put it under the cave, like that way. I like it under the cave because both of them are sitting and having a nice time. Do not put too many artifacts. Put simple artifacts. And because at the end of it, it is this composition that has to get its importance. So that is why I recommend do not use too much of too many artifacts. Do not put those animals, gates and all those kind of things in your composition. Because what happens is the importance of your composition actually loses when you do that. So do not do that. Okay? Okay, guys? So a 360 degree. Come on. I'm going to do it very slowly. Later on, I will be removing these wires. They won't be visible at all, okay? It's just for the time being to keep them. So there, guys. I hope you'll had a wonderful time. I hope you'll enjoyed yourselves. Thank you so much for being here, watching me. And I'm really so happy for all that support that you people show me. And likewise, I always try to teach from my heart. So please, whenever you want to listen, or whenever you want to learn, you're always free to think. And another thing, I'm on Instagram right now. Till my Facebook gets back, I'll be on Instagram. So if anybody needs any help, you can always catch me on Instagram. Or you can write comments under my YouTube videos and I'll definitely get back to you, because there also immediately whenever you write a comment, I get a notification that somebody has written a comment over there. So please do not be worried that I'm not there on Facebook and I'm not able to help, or you lost something. Remember, there are always ways for us to get back. So I'm just waiting for Facebook. Let's see. I'm sure things are going to be all right, and I'll come back. Till then, guys, follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Kindly subscribe to the channel. You're going to see more of these soon, and you're going to enjoy yourself. And if you want to see how I water this, you can wait. Those of you who want to go, you all can go. I'll water the. So usually I use a can like this way to water these. I mean to say till they settle down. Once they settle down, I use a regular hose, but with a shower. I always use a shower for my clothes. Now you have to wet it nicely in such a way that the water reaches the bottom. washing up the rocks also. So what happens is all that soil that was there. Now remember, see how nicely I have packed it up with the sphagnum moss. So what happens? None of the soil drains off. So when you're actually putting that sphagnum moss, put it in such a way that none of the now go close to the tree for a long time because it has to wet the root ball completely. So guys, I really don't know if I will be able to upload this video. I really wish I can. I'll try my best, but I don't know if Facebook will do. I mean, if YouTube will do that, like how I used to do it on Facebook. So, but if it does allow me to upload it, I'll be so happy. So that others who have missed the show will definitely get a chance to watch it later on. Oh, I don't want this to show. It's under pressure. I should have turned this tree a little that way. It will even better. Okay. So there guys. So those of you who want to take a picture, most welcome. Take a picture so that you guys can keep it for a reference. Okay? Or if you're more happy, you can put the old man here also, so that your cave is visible. And put a rock over here. It looks too empty over here. So I'm just going to put a rock. Done, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. The front of the tree, this I had cut it mainly because this is going to be visible. If you look at this lower portion over here, it is going to be visible. If I have that, see, this is going to block that view. These two fingers, can you see? It's going to block the view. So I made it like, okay, let it be artistic. Like I'm cutting something, I'm making it look different. So I thought, actually, I wanted to cut it irregularly. But the guy who came, he couldn't do it irregularly. He wasn't that experienced enough. So he couldn't cut it irregularly. So I just told him, okay, fine, just cut it straight and finish it off. Bye, guys. Thanks a lot. See you soon again with another big show. Okay? Have a nice time. Have a nice Sunday. Bye.